So Wake County schools are closing early today. Do you guys know that? Yeah, they're afraid that this giant storm of tornadoes is going to come through and destroy the East Coast.
What's happening?
Yeah. Potential tornadoes. Yeah, Wake County, not at NC State. No. Not for you. No. All right. So today we're going to talk about other phylogenetic groups, the kind of leftovers of the bacterial world. And only leftovers from a kind of artificial sense. A lot of these organisms are really important in one way or another to us or to the environment. And some of them represent pretty big fractions of the microbial world, as far as we can tell. But are less familiar to folks or are less well studied than the groups we've talked about. Now, some of the groups we talked about are pretty small already. These are generally even smaller still in terms of our understanding of them or the number of characterized species. And so this is a phylogenetic tree of the bacteria with some of these extra phyla marked. And so the stuff in black are the 13 major groups that we talked about so far. Again, major is a relative term. The vast majority of microbes, as far as we can tell, fall into really just a few groups here. The Firmicutes and actinobacteria, that is the gram-positive bacteria, the proteobacteria, and the cyanobacteria. I would add the bacteroids next. These represent the large bulk of the microbial world. The other groups we talked about are generally smaller, and these other ones are smaller still. Now you'll see that many of these are labeled by a genus name. So Verrucomicrobium and its relatives, Fusobacterium and its relatives, Acidobacterium and its relatives. Those are pretty big groups, actually. Some of them are not. Some of them are given these secret codes, OSK, TM7, OP11. These are the lab designations for individual sequences that represent larger groups of sequences extracted from the environment. Some of these represent large fractions of the environment. Some of them represent much smaller numbers. But let's talk about them.